Okay, so the session agenda for today is like to unlock the value of customer insights. And a bit about myself, I'm a senior consultant in technology consulting practice at Ernst& Young Singapore. My main focus is on Dynamics 365 Power Platform, and I'm getting a bit on Azure AI recently. And I'm a blogger and a speaker as well, doing a bit of contribution towards Dynamics community, and I love doing that. Well, that's pretty much about me. And before I go into the agenda, I would like to turn off my video. Maybe there will be some bandwidth issue for other country attendees. So let me just turn off. Okay. So today, at the end of the session, you will be like, I'll show you what the takeaway is for today's session. So we will first start discussing on current challenges, and we will get an overview of customer insights. Then we will just unlock the capabilities of Dynamics 365 customer insights one by one. Like we have a lot of steps in it to bring a unified, a holistic view of your customers. And to mention a few, like you'll be like starting with data ingestion, unifying them. You will get actionable insights where you have to create some measures, segmenting the data and viewing it all in a customer cards. So, and atop this, we're going to add some intelligence as well. It's going to be a really interesting and in-depth session for you today. So with that, I'll wrap up finally with a few new release features as well. So that's the agenda for today. And so let's start discussing about current problems that we are facing in a customer journey. So customers' expectations are growing. Like at least 91 percentage of customers are more likely to like go for the brands that that they feel is really recognizing them, and they have a feel that they should be like offered with the relevant product and recommendations from the companies or the brands that they are interested in. And 81% of buyers want to be like known by the companies where they make a purchase. Like they want to be like realized, recognized, and they want a personalized customer experience. But it's like not happening actually. The problem is like the companies doesn't know what the customer needs, and there's a gap actually. So if you take a look at this slide, you will notice that the today's experiences are really falling short. Like 65 percentage of customers are frustrated with the experiences when it comes to omni-channel. So when they start a conversation in one channel and they move on to the next one, they have to like repeat whatever they have conveyed to the customer service agent. So this kind of experience really frustrates the user, right? And 74 percentage of customers are frustrated with the irrelevant content that fills up their mailbox, because nobody wants to read something that's irrelevant for them. Like when the product is like not in their interest, they don't want to look at it, right? So that's one thing. And the 61 percentage of customers stop doing business with at least one company a year because of poor customer experience. So let us take a look at the problems. Why are these problems not addressed? Because organizations doesn't know who the VIP customers are. They doesn't know when and where to repeat when and where the customers will repeat a purchase. They don't know how to upsell or cross sell across businesses. So they also need to empower their employees to deliver a personalized customer experience so that they can increase the customer satisfaction. They should also understand the churn rate of the customers so that they can prevent them from moving to the competitors. So these are all current problems, but how to convert this to a business goal? Do you think AI can help? Yes, absolutely. So with AI capabilities, you can just increase your customer loyalty, increase your customer satisfaction, reduce the churn risk by predicting the churn scores, and you can do upsell, cost cross sell. You can increase the revenue and profit and the market share, and you're going to be the number one in the market. So that's the goal of AI and the customer insights, which is driven by AI as well. Okay, so no matter which app you're using, take a look at the apps and channels of engagement here. Like it could be Skype or Facebook, Twitter, or it could be like a website or email. Wherever your your customers trying to interact with you, you should have a 360-degree view of your customer, regardless of the origin of the data. It could be like demographic data, behavioral, transactional, whatever the data is. You should at any point of time be able to understand your customer well, so that with that you will be able to serve your customer with a personalized customer experience. So Dynamics 365 Customer Insights empowers every organization to achieve more by unifying the customer data and deriving insights and empowering the employees to give a personalized experiences and process throughout all the channels of communication with the customers. Um, Making a difference with Dynamics 365 Customer Insights. Now take a look at this enterprise data here, where a lot of databases are in the line of business. It could be like geographical data or different brands. Like you have a lot of data in local data stores, right? So customer data is spread across all this. Like in every database, you might have customer data, but there is no joint taxonomy to describe the customers and their journeys with our business. So if you start doing analytics on this kind of data, the challenge is it's going to be on a local data. It's going to be really hard for you. And here comes the idea of unifying the customer profiles, and that's what is customer insight is all about. So it allows you to map the customer data sources, multiple sources, and bring it into one common data model that's also in line with the Microsoft's common data model platform. So when it is there, you will get meaningful integration across your enterprise data, and it helps to unify data and orchestrate the customer journey with every interaction touch points through all the channels. So in this case, it's going to be much easier for you to implement AI and AI driven insights. The reason is you need to understand the key success of AI relies on the underlying data, and AI is not magic. If the data goes wrong, if the data is, if your organization is not prepared with the data, your digital transformation journey is going to be difficult, because for AI to be successful, for an AI implementation to be successful, you have to like really work on the underlying data, and that's where customer insight comes into picture. This slide of Microsoft's approach, how we're gonna like handle this scenario of bringing a unified, holistic view of customer. So the data, as I mentioned in the previous slide, is lying in all these disparate systems. They are siloed. They don't interact with each other. It could be internal or external, like for example, event data, loyalty data, campaigns, point of sale, the in-store purchases, the website, the surveys, reviews, all these data. When like in any business, you will definitely have this kind of data like stored historically. And do you think it's really adding any value to your business if they just lie there? Definitely not. So what Microsoft has come up with is to bring all this and ingest into this common data model, the customer data platform, where it's driven by the AI capabilities. And when you ingest through the out-of-box connectors, so if you're familiar with the Power Platform, you might be already using some connectors, right? It's similar to that. You have connectors here as well, so it's pretty much easy. You don't need to do a lot of coding. You'll just pull in all the data, and once it's ingested and available in your customer insights instance, you're gonna do unification by setting up some map and match rules, and you will conflate it, like merge it. And on top of this, you can enrich your customer profile data with Microsoft's brand affinity details and the category interest from the Microsoft Graph data. So after this, you will be able to get rich analytics, and you will be able to do machine learning and customized tailored model as well with AI and ML capabilities. It's pretty interesting, right? So once this is there in your hand, you're gonna like, it doesn't really make sense. You have the unified customer profile. So what are you going to do with that? You need to start automating the processes and optimizing your customers' journey. So for that, you can just leverage on the Power Automate, Power Apps, and Power BI. It's all part of the Microsoft's common data platform. and you will be publishing your unified profiles through different channels of communication with the customer, like mobile, website, social, or even chatbots, or even in person. When a customer approaches to you, you will be able to understand, have a clear view of what this customer's profile looks like. Yeah. So, like, you might have this question by now, like, what's so different in customer insights? Why not do it with a normal analytics tool that's already readily available in the market? So, why do I opt for customer insights? So, to answer that question, let's just take a look at the slide in the left side, like the traditional customer analytics. Hold on. Okay, so in the traditional customer analytics, you will be like building your own homegrown system. You will be like hard coding, and you will just rely on the local data, as I told you earlier. So it's definitely going to take a lot of time because they're all siloed app to have to pull in data from every single system and connect it to get a analytics out of it. So storage is going to be a problem, and it's definitely going to take a lot of time to implement this system, and it's on a different stack. For example, KPI calculation, the machine learning, as I mentioned earlier, the machine learning is successful with the underlying data. So if your data is like spread across, it's going to be difficult to get this kind of level of analytics. So, and after all this, you have to also comply with the policies. And if you look at the customer insights, what is it offering for us? It's a finished SaaS solution. It's just off the shelf. You can just pick it up. You don't need a technical expertise. You can just configure it as a business user, and it's also extensible. You can use more machine learning and AI on top of the this platform, and it's powered by Azure as well. Your data is stored in Azure Data Lake, and you can do like wonders when you have your data in Azure and you know the capability already, right? So, and the implementation time, if you see, is weeks. For me, if you ask, I just completed today's demo overnight, I would say. So it's like not even, I mean, if you're just trying out, you can just do it in a couple of hours. It's pretty fast. So power end-to-end customer experiences. So if you see, if you start from marketing, sales, and service, in every interaction touch point, you can just have this personalization experience. Like you, with customer insights in hand, you will have the holistic view of customer, and you can just segment your customers and do a targeted campaign, and you can do a lead generation for the targeted customers. And when it comes to website and content, you can do a moderation as well. You can do some product suggestions, recommendations by learning the interests of your customers. And you can also look at the next best action because you already have a visibility of what your customers are looking for. And in terms of omni-channel support, it works pretty well because no matter where your customer is like interacting with you, you will have visibility. So this will definitely increase your cross-sell and upsell with your customers. So why would you choose customer insight? Because the customer insights gives you a holistic view of your customer, and when you have that view, you can unlock the insights and take actions. I'll go into the details later in the demo, and it can be easily adapted and extended as well because it comes with inbuilt AI capabilities, and also you can extend it with additional custom AI models. And this is and you're already on a reliable and trusted platform on Microsoft's Azure. So let me go into a demo now. Okay, so here is the instance of mine. This is my environment. So when you initially go into this customer insight instance, you wouldn't be like seeing anything here. But before I go to the demo, I want to like project this slide so you will know what we are doing and where we are. Okay. So we are on the first step here. We will be doing data ingestion first, And once the data ingestion is done, we will do the unification, and we will just create some insights. Then we will see how to bring in a custom model, add more intelligence, tailored intelligence to your customer profiles. Then we will see how to consume this in a customer engagement app, and that could be a customer service hub for today's demo. And I hope that's pretty much for today. I will also show you a Teams bot integration, a pretty cool new feature released recently in preview. Okay, so initially, as I told you, there will be nothing in this instance. So like you have customers, segments, measures, data, and where do I start with? What do I have in hand? I told you there's nothing in this instance, right? So all I have is historic data, and I'm going to start with the historic data in hand. And let me go to the data sources. And if you see this instance, guys, I have already configured, because it's going to be like taking time for me if I do it during this session. So I have prepared, it's a pre-cooked environment. I will just walk you through the steps and give you an understanding of how this works. And here and there, I will also show you some tips and considerations. So the first step is bringing your data into this instance, and this instance itself is actually an endpoint of the customer data platform. It has a very complex architecture in the backend, but you're just using this UI to interact on the customer insights uh, alone here. So once the data is brought in here, like let me open this e-commerce, you will see like two entities here: e-commerce purchases and e-commerce contacts. So these are the customer data lying in this particular online system. So this is simply your Power Query. If you're familiar, it's going to be pretty easy for you. You can do some transformation and prepare the data. And once all your data is ready, like you can leave page. Okay, you can go into individual. I have e-commerce, loyalty scheme, point of sale website, Dynamics 365 customer service contacts as well. Forget about this, I'll come back to this later. So these are the data I have unified. And once your data is ready here, you will go to unify step. So the first step here is to map your entities. Like you have ingested the data here. Now you're going to try and map it to the common data model, which has some predefined customer attributes, like this one, the type here. This column here pertains to the customer insights data model, and you will notice that it will have some details about customer profile. So once you add your entity here, like if I click new entity, it will let you choose the entity that you're gonna do a mapping with the common data model here. So it will allow you to select the entities, and once you select the entities, it will automatically map the attributes to the relevant attributes in your ingested data here, the entity here. So all you have to do is to set up a primary key for each of your entity that you're ingesting into this model. So I have done repeatedly for all the 4 data sources here. And once you save all this primary key configuration, you will go to the match. And in match, you're actually going to specify how you would like to match the entity pairs. For example, let me show you here. If I go to edit, therefore it follows a hierarchy. So the primary entity will be the most, this is a key consideration you should keep in mind. So the primary entity is the is the entity that will have the most reliable customer data of yours. So if you have like multiple data sources, you need to identify which entity, which data source will have updated customer data, and that should go on the top. In my case, this one, it's the e-commerce contacts. Then with that, you're gonna match the second reliable data source, that's the loyalty customers here. So likewise, so when you match these two, you will get an output unified data, right? With that, you're going to match the third. So this is how the hierarchy goes, and end of this match, you will be having unified customer profiles. So it's not done with that. For individual mapping, you need to specify some criteria, a match rule. For example, if I edit this one for e-commerce contacts with loyalty customers, I have used this particular rule. Let me open up. So I'm trying to match these two entities with full name and email. And we do have an option to normalize, like remove commas, remove unwanted exclamation or delimiters. And you're going to set the precision level as like low, medium, high, or exact. So what does it mean? So when I do a match, I tell this AI model behind, hey, I want my customer profiles to be matched exactly based on a full name. So only if the full name or email, whatever I have specified, is an exact match, then go for merging the customer profiles. If not, just ignore it. So that's what I'm trying to tell here. In this case, I have just kept it as high for full name. And in terms of email also, I've just set it as high. You do have an option to set a custom precision level, which will be a value from 1 to 100, it's like in percentage. So when you set a percentage, it's like a threshold limit. Only if the match score is exceeding that particular threshold, then the model will match the profiles based on that. So let me cancel this. And good thing is you can have a preview here, because I have already done, right? This is a pre-cooked environment. So based on this match rule, I have the precision breakdown. I have the preview of how many like how the entities are mapped. So if you notice here, there are some unmatched profiles and matched profiles as well. So let me just open this preview data. Unmatched, no, this one. Okay, so if you notice, there won't be exact match. That's the beauty of customer insights. You can just specify like to what extent you want the data to be matched, because if you're aware that your system is like not quite stable, it's like for example, Kimberly's loss Kimberly is the same person, right? So you can just specify the system, like no need to be exact. If it's like 80%, I'm still okay to go. So in that case, this will be picked up as well. So similarly, I have done for the rest as well. And I wanted to show you a preview with the match score. So, okay, let me preview this. Okay. Here is it. Okay, so if you see the match preview here, there is this matchpad score, which is given out by the matching model, AI model behind. It's not always 100%. In general, if you write a query to match in SQL, it's going to be 100%, or it's like if it's 100%, it's going to match. Otherwise, it's going to ignore the record, right? But with CI, that's not the case. Even if it's like 98%, it's going to match it. Anything less than that. But this is something you're configuring, right? Like low level, medium, or high level, or exact match. So based on what you have specified, it will do the matching. So I have 14,000 over unique customers in this instance. So the next step is merging, and this is like I have got after doing the merge. So in merge, if you see, you're doing you're reconciling your customer data here. So what happens here is you will see the keys for every entity that you're trying to merge together, and you will also see some removed attributes. So let's say if you have two data source, like two data from two sources, and if the first one and the second one have like different attributes, and the model by default, it will just ignore some irrelevant data, but you always have an option to undo this and tell the model, okay, include this in my merged customer record. And these are the customer fields that's included in this specific merge function. Like if you notice here, the fields that's with the suffix to means like it's present in both the tables, the e-commerce and the loyalty. And I can just choose to ignore one of those if I want. And if you see here, these are either present in like e-commerce or loyalty customers. So if I choose to include this or rename this, I can just do it. Like I can combine this with other tables data. For example, in loyalty customers, I mean e-commerce customers, I have a postcode, and if in loyalty customers I have a postal code, and I technically know that these two are representing the same attribute, I can just go ahead and combine these fields here, giving a new name, and I can pick the names from here. I mean attributes from here. That's possible as well. So once I run the merge, I'm going to get the unified customer profiles. So are we done with unifying the customer profiles now? Are we going to see the customers here after this step? Definitely no. You still have some more steps to complete. After you do this, you're going to, I mean, now it's showing because it's already done. Ideally, you won't be able to see this. You have to, the next step will be to configure the search and filter index. So here's where you're going to tell your search engine, the Azure search engine behind, okay, this is what my customers or my users will key in, and you're going to pull the data based on these input attributes. So I'm adding these fields here, so it will be indexed. For example, full name, I can search my customers based on full name, city, email, or whatever I have configured here. So we do this because we are going to try and access this data from external systems as well, the unified customer profiles. So once this is run, your profile, all your customer profiles, unified profiles, will be indexed, and it will be ready for consumption here, as well as from external systems. Now, after I do this, I can open this card. This is a tile customer card, wherein the data is unified from multiple data sources. Forget about this. I'll come to this details later. So let me go into my favorite customer, Abby. Okay. So this customer here will have data from multiple sources like e-commerce, loyalty, the Dynamics 365 customer service hub as well. And I will next show you how to pull these KPI details here and these timeline activities and interests. So once you complete your merge, ideally you will only have this data here, the leftmost tile here, and these are additions. Step by step, I will walk you through one by one. So the next thing I'll do is I'll go take a look at the entities now. Okay, so what do we have here? The user entities, that's the data that you have ingested from your sources, and this is the conflation match pairs. Like when you do matching, it's going to bring the matched fields. I mean merging, it's going to bring the matched fields. So that's what is created as an entity in the backend, and you will be able to see the data here. Yeah, and let me go back to entities again. I would like to show you the unified customer profile. So that's created in the backend as an entity, and this one, profiles. So we are here now. So this customer profile ideally will have data from customers' data from multiple data sources. So this is something you should understand and make clear. This is not going to pull in data like your customers' activities or all the interaction touch points. Ideally, this entity itself will only hold the profile details of a customer, and later on, with this unified customer profile from multiple systems, you will be able to create relationships to other ingested data in the same instance. I'll show you later. So let's go into the summary here. You have an option to just view into the details, get some analytics on an attribute level, and you will be able to do some predictions as well. And if you go to the data, you will get a preview. You can always download this data for your understanding or action. And let me go the next step will be to create relationships. Okay, here it is. So what I have done is I have put all the profile details into the unified customer profile. Now I'm trying to create relationship like one to many, many to one with all the rest of the data where I have the interaction touch points of my customer, like point of like in-store purchase, or a customer might have written a website review. I wanted to read that review details. So for this, I have to like link it to all these other entities and pull the data here. For example, this one, if I edit a relationship, I'll be just setting it up. It's just few configuration. You can just do it on your own if you understand how your data is going to work. Then once I have this relationship, I'll be able to create measures. So in measures, you have three types. The first one is business measure that gives the overall health of your organization, how well it's performing. Then the second one is a customer measure that pertains to the overall health of your customers. And the third one is the customer attribute. That one is like going to talk about individual customers KPIs. I'll show you one business measure now. For example, here I'm trying to identify the total average store purchase value of all my customers in this unified profile instance. And if you see the customer attribute, okay, this is the business measure, right? Average store purchase. So let me show you the entity. There will be slight difference when the entity is created. Okay, so under measures, this one is the average store purchase value. So this is created as an entity itself. Okay, so this is the business measure for the overall health of the organization, and you will just have one value here because it's like it's not gonna go into the individual details, right? It's just the overview of all the data here. But let me go into measures again and show you the customer attribute, and you will find a difference there. Lifetime spent of this customer. So I'm just trying to identify the overall lifetime spend value for this customer based on these e-commerce and the in-store purchase system. I've just configured. It's like pretty easy. You can do it on your own. And if you see this customer attribute, I will show you in entities. It's gonna be created as a uh, customer measure. Hold on. Yeah, okay, customer measure. Okay. Yep. So it will be an entity with multiple records in a single table, because here you're going to identify this individual attributes. The name itself suggests it's an attribute, individual attribute for your customers. So it's going to identify the KPIs against each and every customer profile. So I have created a few here, and if you once you have this in hand, you can go into the home page to get some insights of your customer. The measures that I have created for the overall business health of my organization comes here as a dashboard. I mean, I can just drill down into the details from here also. Then if I go to the customers, I will see the individual attributes. Here it is. Okay, let me see. Okay, this customer doesn't have much data. Fine, let me go to my favorite one. I know she has more data. Okay. Still loading. Hold on. So you will see the attributes on this profile ready now. Come on. Okay. So these are the individual measures that I have created for total club points, lifetime spend, and average web purchase and store purchase. So I have also created the same for the overall business health measure as well. Don't get confused, but this is created for the individual customer profile level. And next thing I wanted to show is the timeline activities of this customer. I'll go to the activities. So once you have the relationship ready in hand, you have created the relationship, you will be able to come up with a list of activities, the interaction touch points of this customer with respect to the date and time. So I have configured a few here. I'll just open this website reviews. So here I am just configuring and this timestamp is really important for you to pull out the activity details. And I just configure like what kind of detail I want to show in the timeline. For example, I'm showing the review text, whatever the review has provided by the customer, and activity type. This is a new feature released recently. Like you can just select from any existing activity type that's common to the customer data model. And you can also create your own activity types, and you will set up the relationship here. So once you're done with this, you will automatically see your activities listed in your customer profile timeline, and it's going to be a combined activity details of all the activities that you have created. Need to find a way to pin this customer. I don't have that feature yet. Okay, so here, if you take a close look at this timeline activities, you will see 3 activity groups because I have created 3 activities in the system: the in-store purchase, web reviews, and the online purchases. So you notice here, you will see that it gives a historic data of the purchases, like all each and every interaction with the customer with all the database is captured, and you're getting a single view of this customer's profile. The next thing I wanted to show you is enriching your customer profile. And this is like on top of the existing customer data that you have, the historic data, you can also add more data, like more enrichment data from Microsoft Graph APIs, and that's pretty much just a few configuration as well. Like if you go into this enrichment, you will be able to see the option for you to like enrich with respect to brands, or you can enrich with respect to the category interests, or you can also bring in some lead space data. This is a new feature recently available, and you need to have a license, I believe. And if you go into the brands, you will be able to specify like what up to 5 brands you can specify. Like so that when you specify, it will pull out it will relate your customers data to other customer profiles, and it will try to do a matching. Okay, how much this customer is inclined or interested in these specific brands. I have just given some 5 brands, and you could just mention like map your data to be customers data to be matched based on geography, like city, state, or country, or based on gender, date of birth, and then you can get some brand affinity details from Microsoft's data. So similarly, you can configure for the industry level insights as well. You could choose the out of box industry type as well, like what their interests could be. Like this is a prediction you're gonna make. And that's pretty much about enrichment. So when you do enrichment, and this is also a new feature, the enrichment dashboard is available right inside your enrichment uh, uh, inside your enrichment configuration page itself. Earlier we didn't have this. You have to go into the customer's profile or the home page, and if you go into the customer profile now, I can explain the interests of one of my customers. Okay, I have a lot of customers, so it's taking quite some time. Okay, yep, here it is. So according to the prediction. It says this particular customer, based on similar profile details, should be like interested in food and groceries, and that's the affinity score is already there, 0.08%, and like affinity towards coffee or beverages or anything is given there, and the brand affinity details is also given here. And this is all not based on the data from this customer profile. It's based on the similar customer profiles that we are deriving these insights. So that's pretty much I wanted to show you on the customer insights, the holistic view. I think you're now seeing having a holistic view of your customer from various data sources all in one place. Now, with this, now you can go and create a segment of customers. You have all the insights, measures, everything ready in hand. Now, if I go and uh, try to create a segment, I will have options to create from my profiles. That's a unified customer profiles, or I could choose to create the measures, create from my measures that I have created, or intelligence as well. So this one I will show you later when I discuss on the custom AI models. Let me just edit one um, a segment that I have earlier created. So this particular segment is trying to bring out my high value customers, like who does a purchase of more than $100 on an average. Let me go back to this segment, and if I view this segment itself, I will have a timeline that shows me like the number of customers. This is a dynamic segment, and in customer insights, like you can create two types of segments. It could be the static, or it could be even dynamic. So when you create a dynamic segment, you will have a timeline of when and how many customers are pulled into that particular segment on that particular point of time. It shows like historic data here. It has a preview as well, and these are the customers falling under this high value category, and you can download this data. The good thing is like you can just either download and export or like use it in external systems, or the best thing is like you can just set up some export destinations for these segments, like Dynamics 365 marketing or sales. And when you set that up, you will be able to export the segments directly from here to the marketing system that you have set up the configuration for. So once that's available, you can take some actions on this customer. For example, if you have high churn risk customers here, that's a segment that you really need to focus on, right? So you can just identify why the customers are churning out, and you can just send out some marketing materials, or like you can just try and take the next best action to retain them with your business. So that's pretty much about segments. And the segment insights itself is a new feature that has shipped recently, wherein it will give you an insight of what's different between two segments that you have created, or what's common between two segments. So the overlap and the differentiator insights. So it's based on attributes, and if you go into the measures, you will be able to see for individual attribute in the segment, you will able to see the differentiator scores. So I have configured this. This is just doing amazing work on my segments. It's just pulling out like how different each segment is in terms of the measures. Or if I go into the attributes, I can see I have configured this to pull out the difference in terms of the city for this particular two segments. So it's just for each city, it's just pulling out the details here for me. You can just do a deep dive into these. I don't have much time. It's like I'm running out of time. I have a lot to cover now, and that's pretty much about segments. And let me now show you a demo on how to, like, now you have it all in hand, but it doesn't really make sense if you start consuming this in different channels, like where you actually need a insight about your customer, right? So let me go into the Dynamics 365 Administration Center. So what I'm trying to achieve here is I'm trying to use all this customer data, I mean unified data and the insights in my customer service hub as a customer service representative. So I'll be like having a visibility from my customer insights, sorry, customer service uh, uh, homepage itself, where I will just do some configuration. So to achieve this, you need to actually install the customer insights, customer Dynamics 365 customer insights, customer card add-in. So once you install this, you will be like able to use it in your customer service hub app. This is the app here in Power Platform, and there are few settings like you need to set up some connections. Mm, okay, okay, so let me show you here. Okay, so once you go to the open the solution here, you will be able to navigate to the settings page where you will just uh, specify like the connection to the customer insights instant and what you're going to connect with. So in this case, I'm going to connect my contact ID to the customer insights contact, so that when I open a contact in my customer insights page, sorry, customer service hub page, I'll be able to pull in the details relevant to this specific contact lying in the customer insights instance, like all the measures, KPIs, the timeline, everything will be available for me to be consumed in the customer service hub. So for example, if a customer writes to me that just writes to me that the product that they have purchased is like damaged and it's like this, no, the warranty is expired, I can just go and take a look at the system here, and I will just understand, okay, this customer has given a like a very good review for my product, and like has been continuously purchasing also, and moreover this particular customer is a high value customer to me. So this customer really adds more value to my business. The lifetime spend is 5,200 over 300 over dollars. So definitely I wouldn't say the customer, okay, just sorry ma'am, I can't help you because your warranty is expired. I wouldn't want to say that. I wouldn't want to say that. I will definitely try and uh, uh, give a personalized offer for this customer. I could just tell them, okay, as a high value customer, we would like to offer you a free service to check what went wrong, and if there's any product to be replaced, we could do it for a 50% discount or something. So that's what will retain your customer in your journey. So that's what I have tried to show you here. I'm running out of time. It's like 13 minutes left. And how do I configure this? Let me just open this one form here, and I've just added I mean, if you're like frequently using Dynamics 365, like pretty easy for you. I have to just pull in the controls that comes as part of customer insight timeline, and if I edit this, I have already added this, I'll be able to add the timeline control. For this one, I have added the timeline control. Let me just close this and try to add one. You will see like a couple of a bunch of controls are readily available as part of the solution that I installed earlier from the apps to app source, like demographic control, enrichment, intelligence measures, timeline. So all this when put together on your form will easily straight away pull the details from your customer insights right into your contact form here. Yes, so I have the KPIs, I have the timelines here, I have the demographic details, segments, and I do have the brand interests as well. And moreover, the intelligence part is also being pulled into this system. So let me go. I have to finish off this intelligence part. This is pretty interesting, the custom AI models. So now that you have like got an insight about your customers with the historic data, like this is all done with the out of box capabilities in customer insights. Now I'm going to show you interesting feature, that's the custom models as part of intelligence. With this, you can come up with a tailored AI model that will suit your business requirements. For example, I'm doing a churn prediction here. So earlier I have shown another data source, right? I told I'll come back here later. So just imagine my customers in this particular organization, I mean the same organization, but I have recently acquired this business. And in this particular database, according to this database, if the customers are churning out, I mean it's not doing great, if the business here is not doing great, I would want to do a churn prediction, right? And they are existing customers as well. So I bring in this data, merge with the existing data here, and come up with the unified profile. That's all done. Then I go to the intelligence and I do a custom model. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm going to try and create an AI machine learning model and try to score the customers churn prediction. I'm going to churn my customer, I mean sorry, predict my customer profiles uh, for the churn risk. So how am I going to do that? For this I need to have a web service, the machine learning model itself deployed as a web service. So to start with, I'll be ideally going into the Azure Machine Learning Studio. This is my workspace, classic workspace, and I'll launch the machine learning studio here. I will start creating experiments, but don't worry, no panic. Okay, so I'm not going to show you something like rocket science here. This is something we will get it done with the data scientists. So we are not going to do this part. Like you will just rely on a data scientist and ask him or her to create a data AI machine learning model to predict the churn risk. You will pass the data and that will be done by the data scientist. And once that model is ready, you will be like deploying it as a web service, and that web service will be consumed in your, let me show here, churn prediction workflow. Okay, and let me first show you the web service is available here for you for consumption. That's part of this tenant. Okay, so earlier it only supported a single instance. The requirement was like no matter where you build this machine learning model, you have to make sure you bring it into the same tenant where you're a data admin and a customer service data admin. But with the recent release, you can now have it in any other tenant of your choice, but you necessarily not required to be in the same tenant, but you can just sign in. When you create a workflow here, you can sign into that tenant where your model resides and pull in the call it for running it against your profile. So this is the web service. If you take a model, look at this close look at this model here. 8 minutes left. Oh my god. Okay, this has some inputs. Maximize it. Okay, this ideally has some web service inputs. Okay, here it is. These are the inputs that are fed from the customer insights instance while I call the workflow, and I get an web service output as well, and that will be the churn prediction score. So this is actually I have picked up a model from the Azure AI Gallery, just a I mean, it's done by a data scientist. You know who I just picked up. I'm not doing it myself, and I have actually tweaked it a bit somewhere here to match it and work with my customer insights data. It's not actually um, um, compatible with the data that I have in my instance. So once I do that, it really worked and it had done scoring as well. Let me move into the next step. So once I call that web service, I'll be passing the inputs to the web service there. And that's the data from the customer insights. And remember, for the customer, you will be like passing the customer insights, the unified customer profile data, and not the data from your individual customer data source. And the next thing is you will select like how you're matching with the web service model data. And if I save this, oh my god, I shouldn't have saved. Okay, it has done a churn prediction already. The outputs will be stored in an entity here, and this is the churn prediction output entity. If I go and take a close look into the fields here, I will see the data has come from the model. The model is like using all this data to predict the churn risk of my customer, and the data is like will give you a churn prediction score. So once this, okay, it's because I saved this, I have to run it again, which is now not possible. I don't have much time now. Let me go into the segments. So it actually scored all my profiles, individual profiles, and I have this churn risk here. Okay. Yep. So towards the end, okay, this is the preview. Okay, now I should download this from the entities. Okay. Okay, high churn risk customers. So according to this churn prediction model, there are 3.4K customers who are at a high churn, a high risk of churning out. And one more point I wanted to add, the segments will be refreshed every 12 hours, and like, yeah. So I think I have to go to the questions now. Like 4 minutes left. Hold on, let me open my Teams. So, yep, this is pretty much I wanted to share with you today in terms of customer insights, unifying your data.
Thanks again, Mano. That's a really, really, really great session. I was really, really impressed. So thanks again for that. I know you've only got 4 minutes left. So, yeah, jumping over quickly to questions and answers. I believe there was one question related to a comparison with Click. Yeah, so Sean was asking what are the advantages of this over Click View, Mano? Are you aware of Click View?
Yeah, but to me, I feel the AI capability is the advantage of using this one, and you have you have the capability of bringing AI-driven insights, and that's pretty much I see as a benefit of using customer insights.
Excellent. And Coquelin is asking, are there additional costs involved with using a custom AI model?
With custom AI models, no. In terms of custom AI models, you will you have to pay for the Azure subscription and the resources that you create in Azure. That's it.
And Shaw saying thank you for your last answer, and Miss Mano, good job, nice presentation, thank you. So Sean saying big thanks to you. And the next is Alex is asking, many clients want to have CDS as the single source of truth. How do you get enriched customer insights data, including segments and interests, back into CDS?
Okay, back into CDS. Okay, so I have shown you an example here, you can actually export the data, export the segments, or you can also actually consume the data into the common data customer engagement apps.
Yep, and I'm Ambesh saying thank you, great session. Yeah, everyone's saying thanks. Coquelin saying thanks, useful deep dive. Thanks again. It was very hands-on, a really, really nice, well-presented session. Really, really great, you know. So again, I was really impressed to see you in action today, Manu. So thanks again. So you can connect with Manu, obviously via LinkedIn. So there you got her there on LinkedIn. So Manu, if you could just share the links in the chat window, that would be easier for people, I guess, to click and to connect with you. That'd be really, really good.
Sure.
So thanks again, once again, Mano. I'm sure that's not the first time and not the last time you will be hearing from Mano. She's doing lots of stuff within the community. So make sure you connect with her on her blog, on her Twitter, and on her LinkedIn. Ambesh has shared it for you. Fantastic. Thanks again, Ambesh.
Thank you so much, Ambesh. And
So,
here's my YouTube channel. Because of time constraint, I have just rushed it up today. And if you would like to try a hands-on or yourself and go into a deep dive, I'm doing a series in YouTube. You can just click on and subscribe. You will get to see a lot more coming up in my upcoming sessions. I already have done 3 videos there. You could just be connected.
Excellent.
And yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Excellent. Fantastic.
Thanks,
so Mano,
everyone.
once again.
Thanks, us.
Great to see Mano.